Brandon Aiyuk was so clutch in this last game. Started off slow, had a drop early, but on the final drive of regulation, I mean, they went to him like every freaking play, and he had 4 catches. I think 4 catches, 4 first. I mean, he was like Jerry Rice out there. And after the game, Kyle Shanahan was asked about him, and his answer was like, yeah, I thought he really rebounded after a rough start. And I was like, what do you – me and Jennifer Lee Chan immediately like, well, what do you mean about that rough start? And he was like, well, it's not all about catches and this stuff away from the play. And that's how Kyle is with Brandon Aiyuk. He was good, but, I don't want this to get to his head, and I want to even it out and keep it real. What do you think of the way that Kyle Shanahan talks about Brandon Aiyuk?
I don't know. I'm just wondering if Brandon really has not an attitude issue, but maybe there's he knows the barriers that are keeping his ego within his mind is not strong. So as soon as there's maybe a stretch of games that he looks great in, he doesn't want to funnel that so it overflows and breaks his barriers, and he becomes back to that 2021 version in the beginning of the year that he didn't like, because he does this no matter what to him all the time. And it's more than just that drop. I thought it was just the drop, which is why also in the article I wrote the drop and maybe other plays, maybe he missed blocks, maybe he wasn't putting his energy into it early on. And that's why I think maybe he was. Maybe he didn't put his energy into it and it's plays away from it. Because I've seen Juwan Jennings literally against the Commanders drop a ball that led to a pick, and he just comes back and he just goes to him like nothing. Maybe it's because he also expects more out of Aiyuk, because he knows Aiyuk is one of the best players on the team. So I get that, and maybe he's not fully established. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can explain of why he's being too harsh on him. But I just know tip of the cap to Aiyuk when he went up there in the podium and he pretty much said didn't like the way it started. Yeah, I recognize. Pretty sure Kyle went away from me after that. I think that's why. And
as he should.
So.
He said as he should.
As he
that's
should.
What he said, right? Yeah,
so.
He said that. Yeah,
something like that. As you should, rightfully so. So it's like yeah, because you had the drops, you had the easy one right there, and you just said, "No, I don't want to catch it." So that's your job, and he's having a lot of the drops this year. It's really bad, and he needs to pick that up.
No, I think he's had a lot of targets. I think he had 7 drops this year. I think he's got 6%. He could be better. But what I want to say is Kyle doesn't talk this way about Christian McCaffrey. If McCaffrey has a drop, makes a mistake, they're not going away from Christian McCaffrey. This is an Aiyuk thing, and maybe it's because he hasn't gotten a second contract yet, or Kyle's trying to be, tough love with him. But to me, this kind of feels like a college dynamic in the sense academics. I wasn't an athlete. I was a student. Kyle seems like that professor who's cool. Hey, call me Kyle. I'm not, my name's Kyle. I'm young. But at the same time, he's a really hard grader. It's the stuff he says about Aiyuk after the game, man, say that to Aiyuk privately. Why are you telling us this? And it seems like you haven't said this to Aiyuk. You're just telling us, and Aiyuk has to hear this through. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's done that before. Since the beginning of last year.
It's a little passive aggressive, and it almost feels like what he's saying is it's not my job to go to Aiyuk. If Aiyuk wants to hear it privately, he can come to me. And I think they've talked about that. Aiyuk has worked on going to Kyle's office. It almost feels like office hours, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
In college, I was getting B's relentlessly at UCLA as an English major until I figured out that you got to go to office hours. You got to meet the TA. You got to introduce yourself. This is all this political stuff you got to do. Otherwise, they'll be like, never heard of this guy, B.
It's like the kissing of the hand for royalties.
Pretty much.
To get that little extra bump, buddy.
What do you think of my thesis? Hey, what do you think of it? Oh, it's good. Okay. And then all of a sudden, A. So that's what you got to do. Debo Samuel figured it out. There's all these reports that he goes to Kyle's office every day just to chop it up, meditate. And what happens? He gets hella targets. Aiyuk, it doesn't seem like he's that kind of guy. There were reports that he would go to Kyle's offense late last year and just stand there quietly. Well, that's a good start. But really what you need to do is, play this game with Kyle. And if you don't, Kyle will talk about you like this, and he'll take away your touches, and feels like a passive-aggressive game. Two guys who aren't being direct. Debo talks. Debo's direct. I'm sure Christian's very direct. I'm sure Kittle is too, but it's not in Aiyuk's nature, and it's not in Shanahan's nature, so it seems like they're just not really talking directly to each other. But with the game on the line, Kyle's not stupid. He knows where to go, so I like that. I don't know.
But as much as I love Aiyuk did nothing special on that drive, to be honest. If you watch back that defense, how much cushion they were giving them, and that was every play slant, 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 slant. Yeah. It was just pretty much other than the one where he caught the punt from Purdy when he got hit. So great head on a swivel by Aiyuk on that one. But he had a great game. I just think Kyle, the reason why he does that is because it's the same thing, the young thing. He's not an established player yet, and also because he wants him to keep at it because he knows he can be great, and he wants him to be great. Not only not only for himself but also for Kyle, because that way he'll keep him and he'll keep him that great level for years to come.
It just strikes me the difference all year. Like Ayuk's been here every step of the way. He's in great shape, playing the best ball of his life, and Kyle's still like, yeah, but he can do better. And like Debo's over here having a down year. He's hurt now, but before he was having a down year, slightly overweight, not really explosive. Kyle, nothing to say. Same amount of targets, same amount of touches. Like, come on, man. There shouldn't be a double standard here just because you gave one guy all that money and this guy hasn't gotten it yet, even though he definitely deserves it. Like, come on. That's all I'm saying.
It's almost like in a way he's going to self-sabotage the offense just going without it. I mean, last year definitely was. Like the first 6 games when he was going away from him, it's like, dude, your offense is going slow.
Exactly.
You're not utilizing him. Yeah. Now he can afford it because he has McCaffrey, he has other players who are stepping up, and he has a quarterback who's actually good now. So now he can afford it, but we'll see if he's actually going to do that playoff time.
Okay, so when Aiyuk was in the doghouse in the first half against the Raiders, freaking Purdy had 38 passing yards. 38! I don't know. So Kyle always has these reasons to give tough love to Brandon Aiyuk. No, that's the truth. So Kyle has all these reasons to give tough love to Brandon Aiyuk, but it always hurts the Niners offense. So do that in practice. During the game, you can feature him, man. I think even if he drops a pass, dude, that never discouraged you with Debo. I mean, Debo drops 3 passes a game, and he still gets 12 targets. I'm just saying.
The ugliest routes ever.
Sorry, he does.